Okay, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. We're going to try to do this with context soon. And just using readers here, readers there, readers everywhere. Put this down here and we do it on power. 51. Oh, we got to do better than that. We got to charge this thing. So, we did a couple of test things here. Of the shell holes, the foxholes, and the Sanger. And I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Actually, I'm really happy with the way it turned out. Especially the Sanger. Because the shell holes are a little deep, but you know, when you got guys in them, they look about right. I just wish they were more sloped, but then it would have to be on a bigger piece. You know, so you can't have everything. And then this, of course, is where the 2-pounder is going to go in, sitting inside of this. So what we're going to do is a couple things. We're going to move these guys off to the side. And we're going to go ahead and build the other 2 foxholes. Or is it 3 foxholes? It's 3 foxholes and 1 more Sanger. And then goop that stuff. Because that's going to, you know, if we want to mess with that tomorrow, we're going to have to put it together today. So, once again, my test subject worked. I'm happy with it. You guys may not like it, but I'm happy with it. And I'm not saying that you guys don't like it. I'm just saying that there's some naysayers out there. Oh, I didn't come up with this, so I gotta poo-poo it, you know. Those people. So we're gonna get a couple of things that we needed here. The hot glue gun, the pool noodle. I bet they don't sell pool noodles in places where there's no pools. We'll go out on a limb and assume that's the case. And let's plug this bitch in. I really need to get an extension cord that's longer. And then put that main thing here. And then everything, I have access to everything right there. What'd you do Black Friday shopping for? I bought an extension cord. Woo, big spender. I suspect there's not going to be any big sales on Black Friday. I need to get my hands on. I got something that's supposed to come tomorrow. We'll do an unboxing tomorrow if it arrives. Okay, let's do the Sanger first because it's easier to do. And man, this little truck is adorable. Really, really cute. And it doesn't look too small. I mean, it is 176, but it doesn't look too small. No Coke, it's right here, man. Coke. Coke Zero, not regular Coke. Oh. Now the noise comes on. Okay. Um, Opposite of yesterday. We have people here. Okay, so what did we do with this thing? We're going to cut this into slivers. Oh, gotta have Coke. It's either that or have coffee. Actually, you know, I drank a lot of water yesterday. And I think that a couple of weeks ago when I was getting the jitters from coffee, I think it was just the coffee I was having because I wasn't even having that much. And I'm like pro level caffeine drinker, so there's no reason that should be happening to me. Let's cut some of this out. How you doing today? Let's put a little bit of a break in it here. I'm going to glue this across the top. So this material is actually not bad because first of all, it doesn't make a mess. How you doing? I. The 1990s called and they said hello. How you doing? I. Oh, love it. Love it, love it. Well, you missed my 11 hour and 10-minute extravaganza yesterday. You know, first of all, it's amazing that I was on that long, and it felt like I was on for 2 hours. And the next thing is amazing. I was on that long, and I got little to show for it, because I mean, it just takes time. I didn't goof around or anything. It was like, you know, a lot less than normal. What are we building? Oh well, now I can tell you what it ends up looking like. So this was a test that I tried this weekend, and it's made out of. And people will say, "Oh, you should make a video of this." I'm like, no, I'd rather just do this live. So these key cards from hotels, right? I always end up keeping them for whatever reason. They're in my pocket or whatever. We don't stay, but this is like over like 15 years. So I use them for different things. So I'm like, I need to make some foxholes and a sanger. A sanger is just a fancy name for something for a gun to sit behind. So that's what it is. It's made out of that card because the card doesn't flex at all. You don't have to worry about if it's made out of MDF or something like that. And then you got to worry about it flexing. And pool noodle. As I didn't have any blue styrofoam, and I'm like, I have this pool noodle that's, you know, it's damn near free, you know, and with a hot glue gun. So that's what I'm building the base. We'll put goop on it, a couple of rocks, paint it up, and it looks really good. I don't know that it looks that good there, but it looks good in pictures. And also a foxhole. Because I wanted some for the desert, and I wanted some that three people could fit in. Same thing, it's just a card from Hilton. So that's what we're making. And you know, a lot of these things just take time. They're processes that, you know, you've got to do something, you got to do some process, and it's going to take, you can't finish it because there's some drying involved. So you end up having to work on a bunch of different things at once, even though that's not my preference. Hop around like I got ADD or something. Foam is foam. Yeah, well, the thing is I had this, okay? I wasn't doing anything with this pool noodle. My wife got it for a project that didn't work out. And we have several pool noodles and no pool. I mean, it wasn't for a pool project. It was for something else. So you might as well use the materials you have. I was going to make it anyways. And yeah, it takes some time to make this, but you know what? You can make this to whatever parameters you need. It's not like, well, there's this commercial available one, and I don't know how big it's going to be, and and I gotta pay for shipping, and just make your own. And this X-Acto knife cuts this stuff like great, and this doesn't make a mess. Unlike white styrofoam, the little beads, man, that stuff would be everywhere. No, this is pretty calm stuff right here. I'm going to go ahead and give myself a little bit of a little bit of a height advantage, which I can see past, and then we'll have to lower that so I don't end up getting with a crick in my neck. Yeah. So I had bought this hot glue gun from because of making those explosion markers. So I like using things that I've already bought for a certain purpose, and they kind of sit like they're not doing anything. So when are you going to run out of noodle? Like, when are you going to run out of that noodle? Never. Yeah, no kidding. I mean, it doesn't use very, it can't be super tall anyways, or it's out of scale. I honestly wish this was a little fatter, right? But, then I've got to buy a material I didn't have, which, I'm not opposed to, but the hardest thing about all of this was cutting these things out. Okay, because so I ended up actually having to take a Dremel to it, and that made a mess. But that's done. And we didn't do that indoors here. What are you working on this evening? And this is a hot glue gun that has a couple temperature levels. And there's a million hot glue gun brands. Well, there's some that aren't brands at all. They're Ding Dong or whatever. Nothing, just hanging out. Well, unlike Saturday where I had to work a full day, I plan on having a 4-day weekend this weekend. So we'll definitely back to doing some more filming, more hobbying. Gonna do a Thanksgiving episode. So but just kind of poking along. This material is, so the disadvantage of having this material that's non-absorbent, because not only is the base non-absorbent, but the pool noodle isn't absorbent either, is it takes a long time for it to dry not a long time, but it takes 50% longer to dry. So I went for a walk this evening with the daughter, and it's getting cool. It's not a complaint. I welcome this time of year. Mitch is probably wearing 4 sweaters. Oh yeah, happy Thanksgiving. Don't eat too. So this year we decided to do something different. We had kind of a test Thanksgiving meal, and my wife's gonna make lasagna. Gonna make this. I don't like traditional Thanksgiving food. I mean, I like the pies, but and traditional Thanksgiving food is a real pain in the ass to make, especially if nobody really likes it. You got to remember, my people weren't kicked out of Europe and with those buckle shoes, right? We were still partying it up. So yeah, there's a couple things there's a dessert that my wife already made one time, and the lasagna. It was a hit. We had some people over, and it's like, hey, we should do this for Thanksgiving, and it's a lot less work. So it's a lot less work for her because she's the cook person, because I don't cook. She actually paints more than I cook, and she doesn't paint. God, this cuts so well. Yeah, I was afraid of using the white styrofoam and having those little beads everywhere. You love Toiki. Well, there's one more in the store for you to get. Yeah, I've never been a fan of traditional Thanksgiving food. Especially, let me think. What is the Thanksgiving dish I dislike the most? Well, it's certainly not stuffing. Everybody likes that. Everybody likes stuffing. Actually, I don't know. I don't know if there's anything I dislike. It's just kind of ho hum. You're dead to me. No, look, it's more for you. Why gotta be so negative? I'm doing you a favor. Almost always when we have Thanksgiving, we always have some pork thing, because that's what our people eat. We eat pork. Porkay. We can't be friends. Well, I hope you'll get over it. I hope you like ketchup too in that case, and that way we can be 2 for 1. I don't need any ketchup eating friends. I bet there's somebody who puts ketchup on turkey. You gonna unsub? Take all those ketchup eaters with you. Man, everybody's cranky since the election. All right, let's see how height-wise how we're doing. Catsup. You're Canadian, aren't you? I think you are, if I remember correctly. In which case, you jokers freaking love ketchup. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with you. Actually, that's the only thing I didn't like about Canada when we went. Not your election. That's the only thing I didn't like about Canada was you guys have ketchup everywhere. That's it. Now, there might be shitty parts. There might be shitty things about Canada. I didn't experience them. Oh yeah, you can't find a gas station. That's it. I thought everything else was pretty cool, or at least where I went. I mean, you might live in a place I wouldn't like. I don't know. I don't think so. It's kind of nice going to another country and it's not, you know. No, I'll take those all dressed ones though. The all dressed ones are good. The best food I've ever eaten in my life was when we went on our trip to Canada, and I've eaten some good food. Can't you tell? The best food I've ever eaten was in Canada. It was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. Yeah, you guys don't need to eat turkey up there. You guys didn't get kicked off on the Mayflower. What's the Canadian origin story, anyways? I was talking about Canadians yesterday because I may take my British tanks and make them Canadian because I found new information and they're no longer the unit they can be. So I do want some Canadian Shermans that just blow the shit out of stuff and then sorry about that. You know, have I had the pouton? Have I had the pouton? It's not pouton, it's the pouton. I have not. I didn't avoid it. I just didn't have it. I was only there for a week. We were there a week. Yeah. I did not have le pouton. It's basically like your version of nachos, right? Mr. Barnes. It's Canadian nachos. Poutine? Well, that's not what they call it in Quebec. I don't know. I did not have it, but that's like basically hold the poo. It's basically Canadian nachos. Mr. Barnes, my favorite white man. How you doing, man? It doesn't need to be smooth. It just needs to be kind of irregular looking. Yeah, it's French fries, gravy, and cheese curds. Right, it's Canadian nachos. You have nachos too? Yeah. Well, the cheese curd stuff is amazing. I don't know how that gravy is. I don't dislike gravy. It's just, gravy is one of those things that I shouldn't be having. That many of us shouldn't be having because it's, not good for you. It's like donuts. Yeah, French fries are excellent. What was it that I don't think I ate anything really memorable that I can think of. Oh, I had elk on a pizza. That was excellent. And I don't like gamey food, and it wasn't gamey. I don't like gamey meats. That elk pizza was incredible. Nice to see me doing terrain. Okay, I'm sorry I didn't realize I was I was lacking in that department. Good. Well, we got to do some terrain. Well, because the whole thing about the desert is it's flat, Well, it isn't, you know. I don't think it's going to work out between us. Well, that's okay. I'm not into dudes. I didn't even realize I was lacking in the terrain department, but I guess I haven't done terrain a little bit since I did that town and stuff. We just want some unevenness here. And this really is the protection for the 2-pounders. Well, they're sized for the 2-pounders. Yeah, I think that's good. I think that's good because the other stuff is like gap filling too. So, okay, shell holes or foxholes. That's what she said. Okay. I didn't realize that was from The Office. I know you probably like The Office. I don't like The Office. Well, nobody went. None of my family. The daughter did. I remember that from the 80s. That's what she said. I just didn't want to do. I didn't want to do this with Elmer's. It would take forever. I'm not a fan of PVA. It takes too long to dry. And I'm always worried about it reactivating when it gets wet. Like if you're using wet paint, like reactivate again, like great. Now we got another problem. I had a TV in the other house, in the other paint room, and I realized it's like useless because I can't have a TV on while I'm doing something else. So I'll constantly be distracted about wanting to look at the TV, even if it's something I've seen a bunch of times. I can listen to books and stuff, but or music. But the problem with listening to music is you spend a lot of time like, I don't like that song. Let me push it to the next one. Like you don't get anything done instead of just letting it play. The sound of bones cracking. One of the books I listened to was Jurassic Park, both of them, while I was painting that. There's a couple. I only finished one dinosaur, but I really need to stick to like, okay, we're doing World War II stuff, and we're only going to do World War II stuff. Touch of the Tism. I don't know what that means. Is that Canadian? Touch of the Tism. Yeah, it seems like our Canadian trip was so long ago, and it was less than a year ago. It's like crazy. It seems like it was like 6 years ago or something. Autism. No. No, everybody else is autistic. I'm not allergic to peanut butter either. But if you watch any reels and videos and stuff that they have online now, man, I swear they give you ADD. You know, it's like they have these videos that are like 5 seconds long. Like, you know, I can watch something that's several minutes long. It's not like, you know, oh, I got somewhere to be. Like, yeah, I don't. Your wife says it to you all the time that you're making yourself autistic. Well, yeah, it was like 2 layers of this stuff that we did. You got a touch of the tism, autism. No, we all have things that we have trouble dealing with compared to other people. Mine's interruptions. I can't handle interruptions. I lose my fucking mind. You know, 'cause I want to get shit done. Like, you know, like it feels good to knock things out. And like, you keep interrupting me, we're not going to get anything done. Because I'm not a good multitasker and I'm not afraid to admit it. But lots of people aren't and they're afraid to admit it. Like, oh, I could do many things at once. Okay, can you not make mistakes and do that? Because if you're making mistakes, it doesn't do any good. Ever been on a Zoom meeting? No, we got to go to real ones. Unfortunately, I hate those type of things, though. That and what's the other one? What's the other one? It's not Zoom. It's Microsoft Teams. I hope the person that created that burns in hell. I hate Microsoft Teams. I generally hate meetings because they're almost like an excuse for people to like make it look like they're doing stuff. Oh, I had a bunch of meetings. Okay, what did those meetings accomplish? You know? Oh, we just had meetings. I got several people that work where I work, and they're in those meetings all the time with closed doors, and you ask them to do anything, and they can't do it because they're busy in meetings, and a lot of theory and no practicality. We used to have a meeting every week, and it was on Friday. Like, why the fuck would you have a meeting on Friday? Like, all right, go team, and then everybody goes home, or you know, they got Friday on their mind. Like, freaking do it on Tuesday or something. Any day other than Friday. I had to work on Saturday, so I actually didn't have a Friday last week. But it wasn't that big of a deal, because I knew 5 weeks before. And roll into a short week, so that's good. They ain't meetings, they're building terrain. Oh, they're not. These people don't have a. These people don't even know history. And if you're a war gamer, you can't talk about this to other people. They don't know what the hell you're talking about. They're clueless. Yeah, if this had been the material that was, I mean, the blue styrofoam would probably work okay, except I don't have any. And I was like, I wanted to get started, and it's good to use the stuff that you have. There we go, my blessing. It's either that or leave everything like a Christmas tree. They look at you like you got 5 heads. Well, it doesn't help that most people that play games are freaks. I just don't understand why so many people are, their hobby is to just watch other people do stuff. You know? Like, what do you do? Like, I don't have anything against sports, but like, go play the sport, right? But just, what do you do? Oh, I watch other people run around. You know? And everybody does nerdy shit. Oh, I'm a jock. I don't do nerdy shit. Bullshit. You know all those stats about how far that guy ran with a turkey under his arm. You know, that's nerdy shit. Yeah, the low temperature is definitely a secret. Because if you get one that's a high temperature, it'll melt this, and if you touch it, it's painful. Pigskin, yep. Or any other sport, you know. And they get emotional too. Like, dude, you don't even know that guy. About the equivalent height? Yeah, that's about right. I'll come around a little bit here. But I didn't do all of them because I wasn't sure if I was going to be happy with how this worked out. And I would like it for it to be a little wider so that the slope is not as, what did I call it yesterday? Verticationary. But I've got so many of these cards. I got like 30 of them or something like that. So if your price of hotels goes up, that's because of me. Hey, I'm recycling. I'm making the world a better place. Oh, we're almost ready to reload here. Well, the designer of the rules that I play happens to be Canadian. By coincidence. By coincidence? By coincidence. Okay, I don't think I need to trim this up too much because it's kind of irregular, and we're going to make it irregular, even more irregular when we like put the goop on here. Maybe take this a little bit off. Little bit jagged there. Well, I wanted them big enough to have 3 guys that could be potentially in here. Instead of just the commercially bought ones that I've had for 20 years, I finally got around to doing them, and you could only get 2 guys in there. All right, so. Yep, that'll work. Move these. That's complete-ish. Ready to goop. Not just known for our maple syrup. What's Canada known for? What's Canada? That's what you should have changed the name of your country to. Canada. America and Canada. You're from another country. When somebody says, "Hey, are you American?" It's already automatically somebody from the United States. You don't go, are you from North America? Looking at somebody from Mexico. No. I mean, yes, Mexico's in North America, but I would never refer to somebody from Canada as North American, even though you guys are North America. You guys are Canadian. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just what it is, you know. Where's my other? There we go. Hidden in plain sight. You guys are known for apologizing for shit. And it's okay to apologize, but no need to apologize for stuff you didn't do. Okay, that's being a little too easygoing. Man, this cuts well. Like crazy. No, see, I don't know Canada for. Oh, those maple cookies are great though. Those things are incredible. It's like those little wafer that look like a little maple leaf. I know you're probably tired of eating them because you've eaten them your whole life, but man, those are freaking amazing. Sorry, there you go. Sorry, not sorry. Oh, yes, I am. Sorry about not being sorry. Where does that come from? What's the backstory of that? It's better than being known for a country of dicks, you know? Like, what's New York known for? Bunch of dicks, you know? And you guys were smart enough to when you broke away from England to say, sorry, we're not driving on that silly side of the road. You pommy twit. We're not driving on that side of the road. Hey, Marcus. No, we don't have to wait for mornings with Marcus, do we? He makes an appearance. Welcome back, man. Well, I'm going to go ahead. I'm making the rest of these shell holes. They turned out well enough. A lot of the desert stuff is vastly affected by lighting. So you'll look at it in one light, it's like, oh, it looks great. And then you look at it in like neon and you're like, I don't like the coloring so much. So sometimes you gotta like disassociate that. I'll have to find out what the backstory of that is. Why are Canadians so apologetic? Or at least, verbally, you know? 25 pounder should arrive tomorrow. Boy, you're more excited about it than I am. That's the spirit. Let's see where they're at. They were in Jacksonville yesterday. So I got them from somebody in Canada. Sorry. And because the particular model that I was looking for is like out of production ish because they don't do a good job of like remaking them. And so I got him from this guy. He was in Canada, and his shipping time said I purchased them on like November 15th, and it said shipping December 15th to 27th or something like that. And I'm like, why is it taking so long before I ordered them? Like, why do you have these a month out? It's just Canada. I said, oh well, I think like the day before they had the postal strike. And then he ended up saying that he ended up sending them with UPS anyways. I said, okay, that's good. Let's see where the let's see where those Jerry killers are at. At least it comes UPS. It won't be crammed into the freaking mailbox. Like a mailbox this big, and they try to put something bigger than this big in it. I don't know how your postal service is there in Canada, but the one here, I think they specifically they specifically hire people that are handicapped in an incurable way. Arriving tomorrow by 9 p.m. and it's already in the town next door. So 25 pounders. All right, let me go get a beverage. Be right back. Well, I know the markings I'm going to put on that vehicle. I need to check to make sure this has the right markings. This has 54, red, blue 54. I was working on my Crusader. '54 is the correct one for the armored division at that time. Operation Crusader. Yeah, red, blue 54. So the artillery is going to have red, blue 77. That's the field regiment, Royal Horse Artillery. I guess it's an Iron Horse. Yeah, but I'm putting together this document. It's that one that you saw earlier, but I'm modifying it because there's stuff on here like this is the 7th Armored Division. So like which is the senior brigade? It's the 4th, which is strange because the senior brigade got the honeys. So I put the little symbol of the 4th Armored Brigade, and I think I figured out what it is. The question I had about a week ago was like, okay, so if you've got the 4th Armored Brigade and the 7th Armored Brigade, they're inside the 7th Armored Division. Do they use their Armored Brigade symbol on their tank? And I think the answer is no. They use the Armored Brigade on the armored symbol on their tank if they're an independent brigade. So we're going to put the 7th Armored Division Jeroboam on all of the vehicles. Not because I don't want to use these other symbols, because that'd be even cooler, but I just don't see any photographic evidence of them doing that. And then I went on the other document and said, okay, well, there's a senior armored regiment within the armored brigade. There's a 2nd Armored Regiment, and then there's the Junior Armored Regiment. And it's color-coded on the other one based on those units. So if you take the 4th Armored Brigade, it consists of 3 regiments that are labeled Red 40, Red 86, and Red 67. The 8th Kings, now in this particular case at Operation Crusader, all of these units, all 3 of those regiments are all honeys. Okay? And so the 8th King's Royal Irish Hussars, which are the ones that there's Yes, senior's red. It will have all red symbols. And then the third Royal Tank Regiment has yellow, which is a shitty choice because it's hardly noticeable. And the blue one is the third Royal. And those are all honeys. The other brigade, the Junior Armor Brigade, is the 7th. And it consists of 9th Queen's Own Hussars is the senior one with green 65. Green 68 is there's an error here in their form. Because it also is 8th King's Royal Irish Hussars according to the chart, but it's in the other unit. Well, I know that the 8th King's Royal Irish Hussars is definitely in the 4th Armored Brigade. So this is, his own document's wrong. Well, we're gonna have to another layer of onion that we'll have to peel. But anyways, that's the 3 units that are on in those, and then the 22nd was attached to the 7th Armored, but it's actually part of the 1st, I think, at the time. And it's the one that has the antler symbol. And I'm not certain what the symbols of those four of the units for, because there's a headquarters brigade has the headquarters unit has a different number, and then each one of the regiments also has a different number. I don't know what that one is yet, but yes, senior is correct. So if I was going to do honeys, I'd just do them all out of the 8th. I got lots of examples of how they're painted. So, but what I've started doing is, let me see if I can find the file, download the file that I sent to myself, because it's a work in progress. Why are you not letting me open this? I have Excel on my phone. I paid for it. Okay, let's go around the other way around. Well, I can't open it, and I'm not smart enough about this shit. I don't do it enough on the computer. But anyways, I started attaching some photos of things that go for each one of the units. So by the time I get any of those tanks, I'll have it all figured out. Figured out enough to where I'm comfortable with the decisions I'm going to make. So. But the 7th Armored Brigade is the one that has a mix of A-13s, A-13s, A-10s, and A-15s, the Crusaders. And then the 22nd is all Crusaders. So it is unlikely that I will have any labeled with the 22nd, because I've got a couple A-13s. I don't have any A-10s, so it'd be nice to kind of mix them all up. And I'm probably going to repaint that one A-13. Not the one I just did, but the earlier one. I'm probably going to repaint it. Maybe. Probably maybe. And then I'll do the same thing with the Germans. Although I think I'm on to the Germans. I'm on to those Germans. I'm not doing the numbers that go over all those doors. Like I said, I was concerned that the decals would stick to it, but with the microsol and the microset and poking the air bubbles out and putting more microsol down, it all worked fine. The problem is it just it's, it makes it look like the numbers that go over all that stuff is smaller because they are. They got to travel a bigger distance. So in a nutshell, it doesn't look very good. So there's no point in doing a lot of work on something and then it not turn out well. Not a big fan of that, so. And my preference would be to do the numbers how I want to, but there's something to be said for trying to stick between the parameters of what's known and then put your own kind of spin on it instead of just pulling things out of the sky. There's enough different things you can do that you can pull out of the sky that you know it's unnecessary to have it in that setting. Now, how are we doing height wise? I think we're about right. Yeah, I think so. Let's see if I can jag this up a little bit. Yeah, this is supposed to look like it's shoveled because but it's not going to have that look, but it works for what it is. And I'm sure the minefields will work out well whenever we get around to do, not minefields, you don't have to do minefields. They're in the dirt, in the ground, the wire. I never could find on Zhao's site where he had done barbed wire. I couldn't find that. I spent a bit of time on his site and I couldn't find it. That guy perseveres like nobody else. They don't make this. Screw it. I'm making it. You know? And I actually like listening to him in the videos. You could tell he's really excited about this stuff. And he does a pretty good job considering English is his second language. So you say the first sanger looked good. I'll try to send a link. Look really good, actually. It's not made for the tank, but and I'm gonna have loose rocks on the game surface. The way I had loose bricks. Though I had loose bricks on my Normandy game, there's gonna be loose rocks. And you can have an area that's just, like, that has rocky terrain on it. And the rest of it is just on a mat. I think I made the right decision building the Beaufort the way I did. With the wheels on it. It looks really interesting. Really interesting looking gun. Okay, one left to go. I'm getting really tired. All of a sudden I'm like, oh. So I don't know that I'm going to be able to goop them tonight. I don't know if I'm going to have it in me. But I got to do this anyways. So maybe we'll goop in the morning. What's the worst model kit you bought, Marcus? Maybe one that just turned out really bad, or you never were able to, or you never build another one again. Like, I'm never building another one of these things. The only model that I haven't been able to complete, and I am going to try to give it a second look, but the only one I haven't been able to complete due to parts being missing when it was a new kit. Actually, the parts aren't missing. They're made incorrectly, and it has to do with the suspension. Is the S-sheet kit for the 3/4 ton Dodge? You know, like that big staff car that like Patton drove around in, which is an attractive vehicle, and they probably used them to pull 37s too, 37 mils. Couldn't finish it. It's the parts on the bottom don't go with it. So I think I probably could still strong arm it, make some custom pieces. It's all, I think, on the outside. I mean, on the underside. So it's not that big of a deal, but the Fujimi Valentine, it had rubber band tracks that were too tight. Yeah, there's no solution for that other than if it's kind of close, staple them, but staple it far away from itself. But that's something that I wouldn't have been able to solve as a kid. So you don't like Valentines either. That's not the fault of the Valentine. Whenever I get those Valentines, I'm gonna build the other half of them. And do you have any Plastic Soldier Company Valentines? Probably going to make the other ones dug in. It just has way too many extra pieces to not use them. PSC Valentines, but the honeys will come first. You gonna do the honeys for Gazala? That's what is that the one you're focusing on, Gazala? That's a good one to focus on. Hell, you could probably do Gazala and Alamein. Well, Alamein is just Alamein actually lasts a long time, right? It's like August to, is it late July, early August, all the way into November? Supercharged in November, late November. Well, see, the thing about it is that the other thing about Crusader is when Crusader was going on, the Germans were basically undefeated. You know, they didn't win the Battle of Britain. They didn't take Britain. You know, that's it. That's really the only thing that went wrong with them. I mean, yeah, they lost a shitload of destroyers in Norway. Bismarck sank. That's pretty much it. Germans really haven't had any bad news. No Valentines. I gave the Fujimi models your friends long ago. I like you. Would you be my friend? Yes. Let me give you this kit that's going to make you want to hate yourself and everyone that's ever been born before you. Thanks, pal. You're a nice friend. You know, the Fujimi box art is gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. But some of their kits are just, I'm going to say they're poor. And that's being nice. I don't know what exactly the problem is. Because some of their stuff is just really. I always thought, okay, Fujimi, it's Japanese. It's got to be good, right? It's Japanese. It's got to be good. That Stug I have isn't very good. From Fujimi. I'll try to be on again in the morning. That's a good thing to look forward to. Instead of like, salt mine shit. Maybe mornings with Marcus. You built and painted the Valentine for your friends. They actually look pretty good, considering. Yeah, and if they don't know where you can like splice tracks together, and nobody would know other than you. You put your vehicles on stands. I don't remember. I've kind of lost interest in doing it. That doesn't mean I'm not going to do it. I feel like it drains my momentum a lot. So I'm behind on doing it. You don't base your vehicles, okay. Do you hate seeing other people base your? Some people are like, like nasty about it. Like, I can't believe you base their vehicles. That looks stupid. I mean, I get mixed feelings on it. Yeah, that was a hot one. You read your thread up 3 from this one. Valentine's Day. I built and painted Valentine's your friends. I don't base your vehicles. Fuji Valentine and rubber band tracks that were too tight. Drove me crazy. I read all of them. Am I missing something? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the art on the Fujimi Valentine is really nice. It's only the early Valentine tank that's really ugly. The Mark One. I don't know what it is. I think the turret's extra small. So, I think you had already left this morning, but Jeffrey was on. Jeffrey was on, and we were talking about models, and he said that he got some from a place called Friendship Models, and they're in the UK. They've got some really nice looking stuff. Really nice looking stuff, including like every variant of Churchill you want, which is good because that's kind of a. I mean, other than Chad, it's kind of a weak point. You got the Airfix Churchill, which unfortunately is 176. It's a Mark 7. And the Plastic Soldier Company ones are 3s, NA 75s, and a 4. I think that's what you can do. I think you can make 3s, NA 75s, or 4s. So, yeah, I don't see that it came through, and I've got it on live chat. I've got it on the chat that's going to show everything. Let me see if I can burp it. Oh. I gotta power through this somehow. Well, actually, I don't know that I do. I don't know that I do. I'm really, really tired. I'm really, really tired. And the time change doesn't help. It's been dark here for hours now. Been dark here for almost 4 hours. And that just gets to you. So I'm going to let this thing dry out a little bit, or simmer down, cool off. And then in the morning when we get on, assuming I don't oversleep, we will, something is being kept, a message from being delivered. I don't know what's going on. Let's see what you sent me. Ber Hakim is under August, okay? Alright, so he's got sticks, okay, on those tongue depressors, which is what I have as well. Man, that's coincidental. Yeah, I like that. I think I need to make it a little bit more dense looking. But I like that. Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to paint the rubble, the groundwork underneath it, and then put the wire on. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm actually gonna go ahead and save that. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do is we'll be on in the morning, hopefully, and we can goop these 3 foxholes and the one Sanger.